um, earnings per share handout. So today we will be discussing diluted earnings per share. When you say diluted earnings per share, the main difference of your diluted earnings per share with your basic earnings per share is the number of ordinary shares to be used. Okay? Kasi dito sa number of ordinary shares, i-consider natin yung tatlong scenario wherein dadami yung ordinary shares na maghahati-hati doon sa net income less preferred dividends na meron tayo. Okay? So, kailan ba possible na dumami yung number of ordinary shares? Meron tayong tatlong instances, which we will be discussing in this video. First is yung convertible bonds payable. When you say bonds payable, ang nangyayari po dyan, may utang tayo doon sa ating bondholder. Pero binibigyan natin ng chance si bondholder na, uy, extinguish natin yung obligation, bigyan na lang kita ng shares. Ordinary shares specifically. Si preference share naman, hawak siya ng mga preferred shareholders natin. Pwede nating sabihin, uy, palitan na lang namin yung shares ng ordinary shares, preferred shareholders, kung papayag kayo. And then, ano naman yung share options and warrants? When you say share options and warrants, it's giving your employees the chance to purchase ordinary shares at a discounted price. Okay. So, lahat ng mga to makaka-affect dun sa number of shares na meron tayo currently. Okay? Nadidilute yung earnings natin kasi 'di ba, the more na dumadami yung naghahati doon sa inyong net income less preferred dividends is mas lumiliit yung magiging earnings per share. Okay? Kaya siya tinawag na diluted earnings per share. Okay? So, punta tayo sa unang instance wherein dumadami yung ating ordinary shares. First is convertible bond. Ang convertible bond, meron po tayong na-incur na cost of capital which is your interest expense. So kapag mai-eliminate natin yung bonds payable at i-convert natin siya sa ordinary shares, basically yung interest expense will be eliminated as well. So, yung interest expense, originally, di ba, mina-minus natin yan as part of your deductions para mag-come up tayo ng sa net income. Since ang scenario natin, wala na tayong bonds payable, basically, wala na tayong interest expense rather. Hence, kailangan ninyo yang i-add back sa net income. However, for every expenses na deductible, meron yang tax savings, di ba? Kapag mas lumalaki yung gastos mo, merong binibigay sa iyo ang government para ma-consider for tax savings. Kung na-reverse yung convertible bonds payable, marireverse yung interest expense, marireverse din dapat yung interest, yung income tax savings na makukuha natin in lieu of that interest expense. Okay. So, para mas maintindihan ninyo, let's go to the example. An entity had the following securities outstanding at the beginning of the current year. Meron daw siyang 10,000 convertible bonds payable, 1,000 bond convertible into 10 ordinary shares. So basically, anong gagawin? Meron tayong 4 million divided by 1,000. So meron tayong possible na 4,000 bonds, which is convertible to 10 ordinary shares. So, ang possible na makuha natin dyan is additional 40,000 shares. Okay? So, meron tayong capital share, which is 100,000 yung shares issued, amounting to 10 million pesos. You also have your net income and given yung income tax rate. Okay? So, let's compute first with your basic earnings per share. So basically, you have 5 million. Wala naman tayong preferred dividends dito. Divided by 100,000. So ang basic earnings per share ninyo is 50 pesos. However, paano natin i-compute ang diluted earnings per share? So we have to consider what if itong 4,000 bonds na to will be converted to 10 ordinary shares. So, ilang ordinary shares yon? You have 4,000 times 10, that's 400,000. 4,000 times 10, that's 40,000 ordinary shares. Okay? Okay. So, ang net income natin is 5 million that is given in the problem. Okay, however, this convertible bonds, meron daw po tayong expense na 10% interest expense. So that is 400,000. Okay? Pero meron din siyang income tax savings because of that interest expense. So 10%, 30% of your 400,000, that's 122. So ang kailangan nating i-add back is yung offset ng interest expense at saka yung income tax savings natin. Okay? I-add back natin yan to our net income para makuha ninyo yung adjusted net income. I hope you are following. Okay? So remember, kaya natin ini-add back si interest expense kasi wala na nga tayong, sa scenario natin, wala na tayong bonds payable. So, ano pang e-expense mo doon? Dapat wala na. So, kaya ibabalik natin yung binawas natin from the net income. Okay? Next, itong 5 to 80 million pesos, i-divide natin yan doon sa bago nating number of ordinary shares. So, meron kayong 100,000 ordinary shares issued plus yung possible na convertible or bonds payable to be converted to 40,000 ordinary shares, that's total of 140. So, ang magiging diluted earnings per share ninyo will be 5,280,000 divided by 140, that will be 37.31. Okay. So, what if a bonds payable was issued during the year? Okay. So, assuming that the bonds payable was issued on April 1 of the current year. So, madali lang yan. This is April 1, ibig sabihin, 9 months na existing yung bonds mo within isang taon. Hence, yung interest mo, good for 9 months din. So, i-adjust natin yung net income. 5 million is given. 4 million times 10% times 9 over 12. 9 over 12 because it is from April to December. Okay? Proportionate yung kukunin natin sa interest expense. That's 300,000. And you get the tax savings from 300,000. You just multiply it to the tax rate of 30% para makuha mo yung tax savings na 90,000 pesos. Okay. And then you add back the net effect of those two to your net income para makuha mo yung adjusted net income na 5 to 110. Okay? Okay. Ngayon, ano mangyayari doon sa additional shares? Okay, yung additional shares, di ba, you have 40,000 kanina na possible convertible bonds payable to ordinary shares. So, yung 40,000 na yun, imumultiply natin as well sa 9 over 12 kasi average dapat eh. Okay? So, 40,000 times 9 over 12, that's 30,000. So, ang total na magde-divide sa 5,210,000 is total of 130,000 shares. Saan galing yung 130? Meron ka ng ordinary shares na 100,000 issued plus yung possible na ordinary shares na magiging result nung extinguishment ng bonds natin. Okay? So your diluted earnings per share now will be 40 pesos and 80 cents. Okay? Bonds actually converted. Okay. So pag bonds is actually converted, that will impact your basic earning per share. Kasi actual na, hindi na siya as if. Okay? So what if the bonds were actually converted on October 1, 2020, October 1 of the current year? So you have, here in the problem, you have 200,000 ordinary shares, tapos 4 million pa rin, it is convertible into 40 shares per 1,000 bonds. So that is, ilang bonds to? That is 4,000 bonds convertible at 40,000 ordinary shares. Okay. Tapos, October 1 na nangyari yung conversion. So, October, November, December, that's 3 over 12. So, 40 times 4,000 times 3 over 12, that's 40,000. So, ang average shares na natin is 240. Basic earnings per share yan. Kasi, actual eh. actually converted ang topic natin. Okay? So, yung 240 maghahati-hati doon sa ating net income. Okay. Pero alam nyo, mali yung maging net income dito. Kasi dapat yung net income, I would say na dapat i-adjust natin yung net income dyan. So, 5 million, yung net income natin prior conversion, di ba? Ililess na natin yung interest expense at saka yung tax. May tax ba? I just grab my calculator. Okay. So, may interest yan dapat na 4 million times 10% times, kasi 'di ba na-convert siya ng October of the current year. 3 over 12 din kasi yun yung mai-eliminate natin eh. That is 100,000. Burahin ko lang yan. And then yung tax savings mo will be 100,000 times 30%. That is 30K. So, dapat ang net effect is 70,000 plus 5 million. Di ba it makes sense? Kasi actually converted na eh. Actually converted na siya ng October 1. Okay? So, this one, 5.5 million and 70,000, i-divide mo yan sa 240. So, mali ito. 5,070,000 dapat. Kasi actually converted na eh. Hindi na siya as if scenario. Okay? So, what if daw po, as if scenario pa lang. Okay. Kung as if scenario, i-consider natin yung conversion as if nangyari siya beginning ng January 1. Okay? So, ang magiging net income ninyo is 5 million. Ito naman, ang interest na ma-eliminate natin, sorry. Mali ako. This should be 9 over 12. 9 over 12, that is 300. 4 million times 0.10 times 9 divided 12 is equals to 300,000. 300,070. Dapat ito ay 5,210,000. Kasi ito actually converted na. Dito naman sa baba, magkaiba. Okay, ang pinagkaiba naman nila will be, ito is hindi pa siya actually converted. As if scenario pa lang to. Okay? So kung as if scenario na na-convert daw ng October 1, iti-treat natin yung conversion as if nangyari siya beginning of the year. Okay? Okay. So, tama yata ako. Hindi, tama pala ako dito kasi actually converted to. This is 3 over 12, sorry. Kasi na-eliminate mo. Oo. Tama tayo kanina dito. It's 5,070,000. 5,070,000. This is 100,000 and this is 30,000. Kasi ang natipid lang natin kapag actually converted is yung natitira na lang from October to December. So dito, 5,070,000. Okay? For this one, what if daw na-convert yung ating ordinary shares ng October 1. So, yung net income natin, and then ililess natin from January 1 to October 1, yung net tax effects na 210, ang adjusted net income ninyo will be 5,210,000 divided by yung ordinary shares na 360,000. That will be 14.47. Okay, anong pinagkaiba niyan doon sa taas? Okay. Sa taas kasi, actually converted mo 3/12 lang. Dito, what if daw po ang nangyari is, i-consider mo to na na-convert nung January 1. Okay? So, ang actual conversion will be 4,000 times 40. So, kasi ito kanina, yung October 1 dito is actual conversion date. Dito sa diluted earnings, what if yung lahat ng 4,000 shares are converted? Okay? Hindi pa nagkakaroon ng actual conversion. So, i-consider mo siya as if outstanding na siya ng January 1. Okay. Next, punta naman tayo sa convertible preference share. So, anong nangyari dito sa convertible preference share? From preference share, magiging ordinary share. Okay? From preference share, magiging ordinary shares. Okay. So, meron tayong 10% convertible cumulative preference share at 100 per par, 3,000, 30,000, and one preference share is convertible into 2 ordinary shares. That's 3 million. 3,100 par. 3,000 shares to. Convertible to ordinary shares, so magiging 60,000. Ang possible na conversion natin dito, magiging 6,000 shares. And then we also have 100,000 shares issued at the net income natin, 6 million. Walang sinabi sa problem na may tax effect. So, hindi natin i-consider yung tax effect. Okay? So, basic earnings per share, simple lang. Net income, 6 million minus yung dividends natin for preference share, 3 million times 10%, that is 300,000. Adjusted income is 5.7 million. I-divide mo sa ordinary shares outstanding, which is ito, para makuha mo basic earnings per share, 57. Okay. Ngayon, pag diluted earnings per share naman, i-consider natin itong preference share as ordinary share. Hence, ano yung mawawala? Hindi na natin kailangan ibawas yung preference dividend. Okay, kasi ordinary shares na yan hindi na yan preferred. So, yung buong 6 million, yun yung i-divide natin dun sa new number of ordinary shares natin. Ano yung new number of ordinary shares natin? That's 100,000 plus yung 60,000 na kinonvert nating preference shares papuntang ordinary shares. Okay? So, 6 million divided by 160,000, that will be your diluted earnings per share, 37.50. Okay. What if the preference was issued during the year? So, pag preference is issued during the year, tignan natin kung ano yung naging problem. If the convertible preference share is issued September 1 of the current year, the conversion computation will only be for 4 months. Issued lang siya September. Hindi naman pwede siya makinabang for the months na hindi pa siya converted. So, September to December is 4 months to, no? Okay. So, ang ordinary shares outstanding natin, 100,000. 60,000 kanina kapag kinonvert yung lahat ng preference share, i-multiply natin yun to 4/12. 60,000 times 4/12, that will be 20,000. So, ang new ordinary shares natin, 120,000. Net income divided by 120,000 is equals to 50 pesos ang diluted earnings per share natin. Okay. What if the preference share were actually converted? Okay. So, meron tayong preference share na 5 million, 5,000 shares, cumulative and convertible into 100,000 shares. Ibig sabihin, 2 per share. Okay? And then, meron tayong issued na 200,000 OS, and the net income natin is 4 million. If the preference share were converted into ordinary shares in October 1 of the current year, let's compute for the conversion. Okay. So, yung 100,000 na preference share, ito po, i-multiply natin for the days outstanding till December. That's 3/12, 25,000. So, ang average ordinary shares natin is now 225. Okay? So, anong mangyayari sa basic earnings per share? Yung net income ninyo, 4 million. Yung preference dividends ninyo, 10% times 50,000. Pero this should be multiplied by 9/12. Okay? It should be multiplied by 9/12. Bakit? Kasi actually converted na siya October 1 pa lang ng current year, di ba? So basically, dapat ang preference dividend hindi yung buong 500,000. 500,000 din yung kanina, no? Ibang problem na pala. Nakuha niyo yung sense? Kasi yung preference dividend, 10% times 5 million, kailangan i-multiply mo to sa 9/12. Kasi yan lang yung dividend na naibigay natin dun sa preference share. For the remaining 3/12, ano na siya eh, outstanding ordinary share na siya eh. Okay, so this should be multiplied by 9/12. So that will be 500,000 times 9 divided by 375. So 4 million minus 375, ang inyong net income will now be 3,625,000. Okay? I-divide mo yan doon sa average ordinary shares mo na 225. It's equals to 375, 3 million, hindi, 3,625 divided by 225,000 should be 16.11. Okay? Yun yung basic earnings per share nyo. Kasi again, actually converted eh. So, kung titignan nyo yung timeline nitong preference share, di ba, issued siya beginning of the year. So, from January to September, entitled siya sa dividends. Okay? As to preference share, kaya natin i-minus yung kanyang dividends for 9/12 dito. Okay? Hindi yung buo. Kasi kung buo, ang swerte naman niya eh, meron na siyang preferred dividend up to December. Tapos maghahati pa siya dito sa ordinary shares. Hindi pwede. Okay? Next, muna tayo sa options and warrants. So, sa options and warrants, employees naman yung binibigyan dito to purchase yung shares at lesser price. Okay. So, you have net income, 5 million. Ordinary shares, 100,000 ordinary shares amounting to 10 million. You have option shares of 30,000. Fair value of each share option plus option price, that's 130. So this is total of 150. Okay. Average market price of 150. Okay. So ang basic earnings per share natin prior consideration ng share options is 5 million divided by 100,000, that's 50 pesos. Okay. To compute for the diluted earnings per share, okay, the net income is still the same, 5 million. Okay. Ang next step natin is to compute kung magkano pa ba yung kailangan nating idagdag sa ordinary shares na 100,000. Okay. So you have here 30,000 yung nirelease ng company na share options. Okay? 30,000. I-multiply natin yan doon sa value ng share options. Okay. Ang fair value ng share options is 20 pesos plus magdadagdag daw si employee ng 130. So, ang total na fair value ng ating options is 150,000. Okay. So, magiging proceeds nun will be 4.5 million. Okay. Yung 4.5 million, ilang shares ang pwede nating makuha from that? Ang average market price ngayon is 250. So, makakakuha tayo ng 18,000 na treasury shares. Okay? From the perang ito. Okay? 18,000 na treasury shares. Okay? Ang kailangan ninyo sa option shares ay 30,000. Okay? So, ang kailangan na lang madagdag sa ating 18,000 na treasury shares pero ang kailangan mong mapunan ay 30,000. So, ang kailangan mong dagdagan na ordinary shares is just 12,000. Okay? Yung 12,000, yan yung i-add natin dun sa ordinary shares natin na 100,000. So, ang total ordinary shares na meron tayo is 112. O sige, linawin ko ulit. 30,000 yung kailangang i-provide ng company. Okay? Kaso, when you say treasury shares, meron na tayo niyan. Okay? So, meron na tayo niyan. Okay? So, kulang pa. Kaya, magdadagdag tayo ng additional na 12,000 ordinary shares. Okay. Yung 12,000 ordinary shares, i-divide natin dyan yung inyong net income kanina. So your 5 million divided by 112, the diluted earnings per share is 44.64. Okay. Yung diluted loss per share, hindi ko na po i-discuss to because this is the same concept dun sa mga napag-usapan nating problems. It's just that net loss ang ilalagay ninyo instead of net income. So, basically, parehas lang po ng discussion yan. Okay? So, that's it for your diluted earnings per share.